Hi, my name is Jeff with Mental Health Resource.
And I'm 𝐃𝐸 with the StraitJacket Podcast. And today I have our guest, 𝐷iego, with us. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good. And you came from Chino Hills. It wasn't too bad.
No. 30-minute drive Sunday. Super
good.
easy.
Yeah, I love Sundays just for that particular reason. When you're in Southern California, it's just like a nightmare fighting for your life through traffic.
I would have not come on Friday. I'll tell you that much.
No, definitely not. I actually went out that way. We went out shooting at the gun range, and it was like literally at a slow crawl. I think we were going 2 miles an hour. And it seems to be typical around that area at a certain time.
The gun range in Chino Hills?
No,
we
that was
went out.
Moreno.
Yeah. It was Moreno.
That was Moreno.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got that wrong then. Yeah, it was a slow. I feel like from the IE to LA or Orange County is always like just a slow crawl because I think people are commuting or whatever.
Yeah.
How long have you been out there?
Chino Hills, 4 years. I've been in SoCal 15 years.
Okay. From where?
I'm tripping. Hold on. 15 years, yeah. I'm from Mexico. Born and raised.
Oh, okay. What part?
Immigrant. Guadalajara.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I lived in Playa del Carmen for a while, and then I stayed a few months in Mexico City and lived in Tulum. Did the whole,
That's
eat,
crazy.
pray,
Beautiful,
love.
huh?
Yeah, stunning.
Why are you here?
Stunning. I had to come back for work, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I was there for like
Damn it.
3.5 months the first time, and then the second time I was there for 8 months, and I loved it. It was incredible. And then my house got robbed, and I had to come back for that. And I was like, maybe
That's
I should
the only
stay
thing about
and
Mexico,
work.
dude. Yeah, but getting robbed or getting kidnapped is just huge.
Oh, my
Those
God.
are big things, actually. Yeah, no, but
Just
the
be
people
careful,
are
it's
beautiful.
fun.
The people are beautiful. You have like two types of people. I think it's everywhere. You have complete fucking scumbags that like watch your back, and then you have the sweetest, most kind, most generous people I've ever met in my life that would like help me, teach me Spanish, and like give me directions, and like make sure I was safe or that I had what I needed. And they
Yeah.
were strangers to me, and they didn't know me at all, and they were so willing to help me, and it was such a beautiful experience.
I would say there's like more like wholesome, genuine people in Mexico, but if you find a bad one, it's probably a lot worse than over here.
That's exactly my point.
So it's like if you find a bad one, a gangster there and a gangster here do not even compare.
Not at all. And that's like
a movie like villain over
just
there.
as good as the people are, that's how bad the other ones
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Like they're complete representations of opposites. Yeah, for sure.
How old were you when you came here?
I was 11. I literally came 3 days before 9/11, and I was
gosh.
like, "What am I doing here?"
You're like, this place is worse.
I was like, "Let's go back." Yeah.
And did you speak English when you first came?
No, dude, that shit sucked. Nah, it was rough. Like, imagine coming here at 11, no friends, chubby, short, annoying, high voice, and with an accent to
Yeah.
SoCal. With like, there's like a bunch of like minorities and stuff like that. People were just assholes. Yeah,
But at least
rough.
you had people that you could speak to because like it's a highly bilingual population.
Yeah, sure. I first moved to Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh no.
That was crazy. Like, there was
Yeah.
just one Cuban kid at my school, and he spoke like Cuban. It was like,
Okay.
"Oye, chico, la guagua," and I'm like, "What are you saying?"
What are you saying?
Yeah, so I was like, man.
It's like understanding a Scottish person trying to speak English.
It was fun. It was cool, but it was rough. And then SoCal was a little better, but kids were just, especially in the 2000s, kids were just racist. This
Ruthless.
shit. Yeah, crazy. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I was like, oh my God. Because people in Mexico, even to this day, and it's crazy, they don't really understand what racism is.
Okay.
And then, like, I had a friend ask me last time where we were, like, riding in the back of a pickup truck, like, going from, like, a party or something. And he was like, is it true that people over there judge you based on your skin color? Like, they don't like black people? He literally asked me, and I was like, yeah, some people do that. It's like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And I was like, why? And I was like, I don't know, bro, but it's real. And, it blew me away that he actually asked me. And I was like, yeah. And I realized, like, we don't do that here, huh? It's just mainly, like, joking-wise, you know? But it's not like a hateful racist thing. But yeah, so when I came over here, I was like, whoa, why are they being mean because I don't know how to speak English? Who cares, you know?
Aww.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
And now I'm full of tattoos, and I'm like, you guys did this to me.
Right?
So I need to feel better about myself.
Let me cause myself some pain and leave some art on my skin.
There you go.
So tell me what it was like growing up in Mexico. Was there addiction in your family at all?
Not at all.
No.
I don't think so. A lot of, like, trauma.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, Mexican parents, especially in the elder days, is just...
They're brutal.
Yeah, it's just like beatings and all that stuff. With me, not so bad, but my mom and stuff like that. But no, I don't think, as far as I know, no drug use or I feel like alcoholism is normal.
It is very normalized.
No one sees it as like, oh, he's an alcoholic. No, he's just your uncle.
Yeah, he's your drunkle.
That's your uncle.
Exactly. My uncle's a little crazy, but no, none of that. Not that I saw.
Right.
Just just normal drinking. But yeah.
You know, it's funny because I know that like where drugs are like more easily accessible in places like say Amsterdam or whatever, the addiction is lower, and like Mexico, drugs are a lot more available. You know, like I wonder if there's a reason for that. I wonder if there's a connection. Because there's still junkies, of course, but it's like it's not prevalent there like it is here. But I think also another thing that Mexico has that we lack in the United States is community and family on a deep core level. Like we don't have the same representation here that they do in Mexico. It's like very, very ingrained into the society, community and family.
I agree. I always tell people like, whenever you were in Mexico for a long time and you come to the U.S., you realize how sad it is over here. Like freeways, streets, malls, it's just sad. Everyone's just walking around minding their business. In Mexico, it's just as soon as you walk out, everyone's like, good morning, and everything just feels like sunshine and it's just nice, and you just feel happy to be outside. It's not like that over here.
No,
you kind of have to find happiness with like friends and stuff like that, but it's over there you just walk out and it's kind of just happy. You can just walk anywhere, take the bus. Over here is more like, don't talk to me. Here I am. Don't talk to me. Go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that in my experience.
But then you can't just act like you're in Mexico here because people would be like, what's this guy deal? You know,
you're trying to kidnap me?
Yeah. You have to just kind of just go with the flow and just make it the best you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I kind of brought back from Mexico, was like trying to make sure that my community was really, really tight and stuff like that, because I saw and valued it as much. When I was living in Peru, like people were outside like playing in the park, like doing like playing this game. Like it was like soccer, but it was different. It was like with their hip. Wait, no, that's the Mayans that do that with the hip.
Yeah, it's like that's from the El Dorado or something when they're hitting the ball.
Yeah. So that's a real Mayan game. And
I know. I've never seen it live. That's crazy.
No, yeah. They weren't. They were playing a different game, but I was remembering that from when I went down into the cenotes in Riviera Maya, and it was the cenote that they would put the winner. So the winner of the competition would be sacrificed to the gods.
Yeah.
So they threw the bodies in the cenote, and I went swimming in that cenote, and it was super creepy. It was dope.
But I'm sure they haven't thrown bodies in like in hundreds of years, right? But still,
you could see skulls at the bottom.
And you knew that before jumping in?
I did. And you don't jump in. There's a rope, and they can actually levy you down. But you can also climb down on this rope with wood ladder, and it's like really slippery because it's really old. So like I went down, they give you headgear and stuff, and you can like swim around. There's bats in the cave and everything. Like it was insane. It was a good experience though. It was like one of those like, should I do this? But then I did, and like spider monkeys are like jumping from the trees and stuff. It was a whole vibe. It was a whole experience.
Honestly, I probably would have done it too. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But they were like, a part of their communities, there was people dancing in the squares. You know what I mean? Like they were doing salsa in the squares and stuff. And I was just like, we don't have this in the United States. It's so different.
The sense of community like that is just gone unless it's a holiday.
So when did you get to California?
So I moved to Memphis, Tennessee 3 months after 9/11. Then I came to California, and then 9/11 happened. So it's basically 9/11. Okay. And then I shuffled around all over SoCal.
Okay.
Like 4 years in just different cities around SoCal. And yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I can't picture myself anywhere else.
When did you get introduced to alcohol or substances?
Alcohol at 16, because like I guess
that's pretty late.
Yeah, it wasn't really around. What saved me is I was a skater. Like I was like determined to be a pro skater. I was pretty good, honestly. So that saved me. But obviously, skaters party. So then eventually, they're like, I was starting to like, I guess like hit puberty a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I kind of want to party and stuff like that. So I started going to backyard parties and stuff like that. But I wasn't really drinking or anything until like I went to my first rave at 19.
Okay.
And then I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Ran away from home, started couch surfing, did everything.
Okay.
Because my parents were super strict. So I was like, I'm not the kind of person to be like held down. Because if I'm just held down, I'm like, I'm going to go crazy. And then parents don't know what kind of parenting they should do. Sometimes you're very strict with your kid, and he's a straight A student. Sometimes they turn out to be a piece of shit. And then that was kind of like how I was, you know? And it could be either or, you know, their brains on their brain chemistry or whatever. But so I started drinking at 16, and I started doing ecstasy and stuff around 19.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, not too early. I've heard way worse.
No, yeah, I had somebody on that was started at 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is which is insane in itself to think of. I saw a 10-year-old the other day, and I was like, that's really young.
A 10-year-old drinking?
Yeah. Not drinking that I saw, but the stories that I hear doing this podcast, people start drinking at 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And
I heard 12, but for some reason 10 just sounds so much crazy.
It sounds so much younger, yeah.
Yeah, because you're almost a teen at 12, but 10?
Yeah. I think I drank at 10. I stole my mom's wine out of the fridge, and I was and then I went and threw up on somebody's trampoline. But you don't drink wine and then try to jump on a trampoline. So that's the lesson there, I guess.
I never have.
Okay. Well, in case you try in the future. So you started raving. Take me through that.
I'd love to. So I went to a party, and then my friend was like, hey, you want this half a pill? I was like, what does it do? I was like, I don't know, take it. And then I took it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then for some reason, I went to, a month later, I went to my first rave, and I took a full pill of ecstasy. And then that day, I was like, I literally walked out thinking, I want to do this every weekend for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I never felt so happy and welcome somewhere, you know? And then because it's I went in 2008, back in the cool raving days where you can go to a rave and as soon as you walk in, you can be any person you wanted to be. You're it sounds so funny, but I had a rave name, and I used to go and just dance and meet people and trade candy with them. I did it for the cool reasons, you know?
Yeah.
The drugs was just obviously just to enhance the experience. But yeah, so just it's I can be whoever I want to be, and now I can be cool or whatever. And ever since then, I just made this cool persona for myself where I'm just outgoing and confident. And I feel that carried on through my life after that, and I feel I unlocked that at raves. So that's why I was even though I did do a bunch of drugs, I don't regret the fact that I went and I experienced that, because it changed who I was.
Yeah.
You know? In a good way. I also started being little bad and stuff, but and it changed a lot of things in a good way for me. But I literally went to a rave every weekend, twice a week for 4 years.
Oh wow.
I did mess myself up by doing so much ecstasy, I'll tell you that, because it came to a point where I went from ecstasy, then in 2008, by 2013 I met this girl, and then she got me hooked on coke, and then she was like, well, I ordered coke, but I have shit, which is meth. And then I started doing meth for a while, for a year and a half.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Then we went to go pick up meth, and this guy was like, hey, you want to smoke it? And I was like, why not? And then I started smoking meth for the rest of the year and a half.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was just in a room, I had a job still, but then at one time I was a forklift driver, certified, by the way.
Certified.
And then I crashed my forklift, and then I got a urine test. You need to get the fuck out of here now. I was like, I'm sorry.
My bad. I apologize.
Bro, your piss is green. It's I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I didn't crash it because I was fucked. I was just on my system. I've always been really good at doing stuff and no one can tell.
Yeah.
But that's a problem.
It is a problem because it doesn't seem like a problem, and it becomes a problem.
Cool. It's you're fine. It's no, nah, bro. You don't know.
You're not my head.
Yeah. So then, so that happened, and I was just well, she was like, I'll take care of you, and I was okay, well, I'll just stay home and just do whatever. I will say, though...
Your ex was like, I'll just take care of you?
Yeah.
Where's she at? Tell her I need to know.
I don't know, bro. But she also got me hooked on all that stuff, so it's not cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I will say, though, sounds so bad, but the fact that I started doing meth, it made me not want to go out and party anymore.
Yeah.
So that got me over doing ecstasy and raves, and I never... kept doing that. I will go to a rave here and there, but it's not like it used to be. So I feel it's crazy because with me, drugs have saved me from something else, and they put me on a different path. And then as bad as meth is, and it's the worst of all drugs, I will say that it saved me from partying and doing all this crazy shit, because I would just stay home, play guitar, draw. Have you seen Limitless, the movie? Okay, Or The Mask. Mask is Limitless, yes, but The Mask is a better example.
Jim Carrey.
I was Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Because I put the mask on and I want to just be like this cool guy, blah, blah, blah. I've seen people do meth, put the mask on, and become like pieces of shit. But for
That's
me...
the typical story.
Yeah, for me, I was like... I had these friends who would come over. We would just draw, paint, fucking like do like sculptures.
Crafts.
Yeah, we just do literally just craft. We just get high, just like draw and stuff. And then I got hooked on like watching like YouTube videos of people doing covers. And I was like, I want to be in a band. And then I started doing like vocal covers, and then I started putting out videos, and I went on Craigslist to look for a band. And because of that, I'm a musician today because I was just so hyper focused on it. And then eventually, when I stopped doing that, I just kept on going with the good habits, and I never went back to partying.
So let's go back to the rave days really quick, because doing ecstasy for that long really takes, like, it literally leaves holes in your brain. So did you have that experience where like your memory was messed up? Like, did you? Yeah, that's what you're allowed to. Can't remember anything. What were some of the effects that you had at the end of that run that you realized were like, oh my God, I might have fucked myself?
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't done drugs like that in so long, so I feel like it's coming back. We just watched a movie about this. It's called Beautiful Boy with Timothée Chalamet.
Love
that kid.
Yeah.
Anyways, but in the movie, it's just about this kid going through recovery, and like not even recovery. He's just like Steve Carell is done, and he's just like can't stop doing drugs. He just like, I'm sorry, Dad. And then he writes on his journal this thing that really fucked me up, and he was like, I feel the worst, like a complete piece of shit every time I do drugs. But I have to keep doing them because that's the only thing that makes me forget how I feel about myself. So he's just like in this never-ending cycle of like ashamed, but then to hide the shame, he does more drugs, and he's just like, I'm never gonna stop.
Yeah.
And then his dad reads it in his journal. It's like, fuck. And then it's a true story, and at the end, he gets 8 years sober. But anyways, that's sorry, what was the question again?
Your brain messed up from ecstasy and stuff like that.
And one part of the movie shows how like this on the scans is like how your dopamine receptors eventually they start getting burned at the end.
Yeah.
And then it's going to take, like, depending on how long you've done it for, it's going to take a couple of years for them to go back. I think whatever I could have recovered, I've recovered.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so I suffer from, like, I just have terrible memory, unless it's something I really care about. But people all the time is like, remember that one time that we went to the guy's house and we egged his house when we were 19? And then we, like, took off and the cops started following us, and I'm like, that sounds so sick, but I don't remember.
Probably was there.
And they were like, bro, you threw the eggs. And I was like, what? I mean, I would, but I don't remember that. And all these stories all the time is like, do you remember that one time? I was like, oh, bro, no, I don't remember. Don't even ask because I'm not going to remember.
Right.
Yeah. Memory after the rave days is great, but I know that. And also just have the hardest time of just feeling like content with just nothing. You know, like that's why I went like sober from alcohol, because I was like, all right, I need to just feel happy that someone's coming over to hang out and watch TV, or like that I'm going on a hike, that I'm going to the movies, because I was like, well, are we going to drink?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I wasn't bad with alcohol, but it's just like I don't feel content, and I have memory loss from those things, and I just I'm just always searching for like the next high in my life, and I feel like that's always going to be kind of the way. But the more I like push myself and the more I deal with it, I feel like the better it gets. And I'm a hard believer on like I can do anything. Yeah. And I do.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you're searching for a high, you can find those things in life, and if you're replacing it with substances, then you're never going to look for it elsewhere. You're not going to look for the high of life anywhere else than other than in a spoon, in a class, in a bag. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. I've
learned that early on. It went from drug use to when I stopped doing drugs. Then my drug was like attention. So now, this is not why I do it, but I think the reason why I'm a musician, and then like I'm really into like fitness and looking good and like being a content creator, just because I like people noticing that I'm good at things, and like just kind of being, I don't know, and it's not why I do it, but I think that's why I do it. You know,
very human.
And then it's just like I just need the serotonin boost, and like just need like that acknowledgement to make myself feel good. If I'm not gonna do drugs, I need something I feel. Yeah. You know, like I said, that's not why I do it, but I feel like that's why I do it. And then for a long time too, like I just would jump from relationship to relationship. Not so much to like, oh, I can sleep whoever I want, but it was more of like I just wanted to like have someone's attention. Yeah. And then when I got it, I was like, now I'm bored. Now I need someone else's attention.
Yeah.
And then I caught on to that pretty early on, but I didn't really start like tackling it down until like a little more recently. Because I was like, I should stop doing that, but never asked like, why do I do that? And how do I pull that shit from the root?
Right.
But yeah, I'm doing that.
That's good. I mean, we learn and grow as we go, you know? So you did all the rapes, so you had some negative effects from that, and you switched to coke, and then you switched to meth. Were there any points in the meth journey where you like were in psychosis or like lost your fucking mind? Because how do you do it for a year and a half and not have some way out shit happen?
Yeah, dude. I would stay up for like 3 days sometimes. I remember like just almost fainting in the shower sometimes. Like you see, watch a movie about like drug abuse. I was like,
yeah.
I never like saw ghosts or like heard voices or anything. It could get to that. I feel like I stopped right before that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I would faint. I mean, I didn't like full on faint, but I remember like one time I slept 23 hours straight.
Yeah, I think I've slept longer than that straight coming down. Like, I think I've slept for like 2 days straight before. I think I woke up to pee once. Just like, because
like the yellowest piss.
Yeah, just like sitting on the toilet like a friggin' for 3 minutes straight, just like, and then passing back out. Yeah. Yeah, it's a rough one. So you did that. You were on meth. How did you quit doing meth?
The kind of a crazy story. Not that crazy, but it's just crazy how it happened. So it was my birthday. And I remember just like, it was like a joke, but then the fact that it turned out to be true was crazy. Anyway, so my girlfriend at the time was like, what do you want for your birthday? And my dirty ass, I was like, I want a tinner for my birthday, which is $100 worth of meth. And then she was like, haha. And I was like, I'm joking, but you know what? I do want that for my birthday.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went to go pick up. The random connect we had at the time was being all sketchy or whatever, sold me it, and it looked like crystal honey or something. I was like, this looks bad. We smoked it. And it tasted like burning bottle caps and hitting the smoke. And it was fucking disgusting. And it didn't work. It just made you like super anxious. So it was so bad that we're just going to throw it away. And just say, fuck it on $100, right? Mm-hmm. The next day she went to work and I had nothing to do. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. And that night from doing that before the next day, she was just being... this sounds so bad, but she was in the corner of the room looking hideous, looking at me, scrolling through my Instagram, and literally being like, who's this bitch?
Right.
Who's this bitch? And I'm like, oh, bro, like, what the fuck are you doing? Just looking at nothing. It's just all sketched out on
paranoid, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? The next day, I put on Netflix, and I watched a documentary about juicing and cleansing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you can like change your life, go on a 3-day juice cleanse, whatever. Something clicked. She was at work. I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I want to come home. We need to do it now before she comes back or she's not going to let me.
Yeah.
That same day, I left my ex-girlfriend. I stopped smoking meth. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I started going to the gym and I went back home and I never looked back.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It was just like a light bulb moment.
It just took a bad batch. Her ugly ass staring at me, and then some freaking juice documentary.
That's crazy, though. But that truly, like, it emulates the fact that, like, when you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, like, you were sick of your own shit, as we say.
I will say one cool thing that I do is every time something bad happens, I'm like, how am I going to make this a fucking great thing for my life? So when something, like, literally, like, I'm just, like, everything is fucked, and I'm like, something good's gonna come from this, and I'm like, that's what it was, and then I just focus on that. It just already happened, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to look at life.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the way that I try to look at things, because I think that there is no gain without pain. Like, it sounds really cliche, but it's like that's where we learn all the things that we're supposed to, like, gives us the fortitude to, like, go forward as, like, the shitty things in life. Like, it colors it with experience, you know? Like, now you have that experience, and if somebody were to need help, you know, you would know how to help them, or you would know you have that experience, you would be able to share it with them. Like, it gives you, it's character building at the end of the day. So you quit meth, you move back into your dad, then what happens?
Yeah.
You were still drinking at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I never saw drinking as a drug, you know, because back then, especially, until I feel like until now, people were like, "Oh, drinking is bad," but back then it was like normal, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved back home, started working out, kept drinking, went back to school, started like kept on playing in bands. I did relapse on meth for like a month, like in 2015.
How'd that happen?
This girl that I really liked broke up with me, and then I was like, I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
And then I was like, let me just make it worse.
Yeah.
As
we do.
Yeah, but it was only like a month. I don't really count that one because I was just like, it went back for like a month, and but I was.
How did you figure out you were done at that point? When you did it for a month, and then you were just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Okay. So there's this band called Dayseeker, right? And they have this song called "The Day Will Turn." Mm-hmm. The day the earth will turn. I think I butchered that. Sorry, Rory. But the song is about his mom's struggle with crystal meth addiction, right? Okay. And it's just about how like his mom just tore their family apart, and like, how can you do this to us? Blah blah. And it's really good. And in the video, the way they like painted her or whatever, she looks like meth the fuck out, and it's just so like
visual.
Yeah, spot on. But anyways, in one part it says, the drugs that you crave put holes in your brain and build the path for the life you hate. Something like that. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah. And there's a, how can you for leaving when we needed you? It's just like very like heart-wrenching. And I was like, fuck. And I remember like Googling and like the long-term effect of meth. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, what the fuck am I doing? And then again, I was like, never mind. And then after that, never did it again. And I will never do it again. Yeah. For sure. Like, yeah, no. Because it was just so close to it that I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But then now, like, after, like, this was like 10 years ago, I was like, for sure I'll never do it again now. And it's like, because at that time, I learned, the first time I just got disgusted from it. The second time I learned, like, the long-term effect from it, you know?
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of aha moment is, like, imperative, because I don't think anybody has a linear path to any form of recovery, you know, like there's always, because it's a crutch, right? Like we're doing it to fill a hole of some sort, you know. What kind of hole do you think you were filling with your drug use?
For sure, like childhood trauma. Like I'm right now in therapy. I'm doing inner child healing.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So
it's real.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm doing a shit ton of homework in between sessions to have like even more topics to discuss with my therapist. But yeah, so my trauma, I believe, I know it comes from like me just feeling super unwanted my entire life. So it went from like me being in Mexico, all my neighbors were way older than me, like friend wise, right? All my cousins were like way younger than me, and then my uncles were a little bit older than me, so I just never had anyone my age to play with.
Yeah.
Plus, I was highly annoying because I have ADHD undiagnosed, yeah. And then I remember my aunts and uncles were like, "Why are you so fucking annoying?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
just love me.
Yeah, super annoying, high voice, chubby, whatever. No friends my age. I only had friends at school, but I didn't even know how to be friends with people because I just be like, either I can just be like super annoying, I'd be really mean because I just didn't know how to whatever. And then I come to the US and everyone's just being racist as shit. So from like when I was born, so I was 17 years old, I never had any like real friends. Everybody was just like crazy to me. So the moment I hit 18 and I got taller and I grew my hair out and I got skinny and I got snake bites and I got good looking, I guess, I just started being a piece of shit. I was like, hell yeah, now I have girlfriends, now I get to be me, now I get to like be an asshole to the guys that want to be friends with me. And that shit stuck around with me for so long because I was like, I didn't even know how to get out of that. So I took a bunch of like therapy and me being in relationships, whatever, to like really not just say like, oh, I need to do better, but like how to like stop that like
cycle. Yeah,
that cycle of just me just repeating this pattern my whole life. But it came from like years and years and years of just being like treated like shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it, but there was some like molesting with me and my family, stuff like that. And I'm like, God damn, everything just happens to me. So it's just crazy.
Well, that'll definitely be a root
I actually
cause.
completely forgot about that until I saw the Melendez brothers documentary, and I was
gosh. And it came up for you?
Yeah, and then I started talking about it in therapy.
Well, it's good that it came up for you, because a lot of people will repress those types of things, and then it's just locked away, and you don't know why you're reacting the way that you're reacting, and then you can actually go through and you can heal it, and you can pull it up by the root, and then it's not affecting you in your day-to-day life anymore, because there's always a reaction to every action. So if it's stored away somewhere in your subconscious and you don't know how to reach it, it doesn't exist because you don't remember it, then it's going to affect the way that you interact with the world. And so once you realize that it happened, you can deal with it with support in therapy in a clinical setting, and then heal it up, and then it no longer affects the way that you interact with the world. Because a lot of people they're literally just one raw nerve being exposed to the world, and all of their interactions, they're not acting, they're not responding, they're reacting. Their nervous system is fully engaged, and they are only having reactions to the world around them instead of experiencing the world around them. So it's incredible that, for one, that was exposed to you and that you got to get to that information. For two, that you were wise enough to seek help and to be able to work through it with somebody that you trust, especially because I think for men, those secrets, like, they tend to keep them hidden a little bit more than with women. For one, it's, there's a lot of shame that goes along with it. And then I'm sure there's questions about sexuality, like things come up for men that it's never been safe for men to have emotions or trauma or go through things. So the fact that you are doing that work says so much, and I hope that it's incredibly fruitful for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like, that's what I learned. Like, that's the reason why I'm so open. If someone asks me, like, "Have you ever done this?" Like, yeah, I used to do the method. It sounds so bad, but at the same time, I did it. I'm not even, like, ashamed that I did it. I just fucking went through it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it helps me when I talk about it, because I do get to help people, even with, like, the whole, like, stuff that I just mentioned. Like, no man in the 2000s wants to say that their fucking uncle fucked around with him, because it's just like awkward, But it's just like, fuck it, dude. It's just like, the more I talk about it, the more I share stories, the more I kind of just like, it dims the light on how bright that was, or like it just
how dark that is.
Yeah, it just diminishes like how traumatizing it was. It's like, I'm so open to talk about it, I don't give a fuck anymore, and it's just like there, and I'm just like, I just can't, like I said, I can't put it away. I'm just kind of like deal with it, and it's there. But yeah, it does help. But yeah, and then for a long time too, like, I mainly went to therapy because I thought I needed a therapy to, like, be able to have, because like I haven't been able to have a romantic relationship in years, right?
Yeah.
And even when I had them, they didn't last very long. So I was like, I need to go to therapy to know how I can love someone. But then I started realizing that it's not even about that. It's more about me just healing the trauma that I have in me, and just practicing on just being content. And by doing so, I can just allow people to love me and then love them back, because it's just, that's attacking it at the root without directly going towards it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've learned that, and he just, my therapist just like, I think you should just like, just do this and that, just so you can be content, and that will just come along. And for a long time I was like, no, but then I started realizing, no, it's true. And then he recommended me that with what I've done with like self-healing and how I love helping people, because like my love language is like acts of service.
Yeah.
And then like how I come from like complete shit to like doing so well, and like with music and content creators, like he told me that I should look into volunteering to being a counselor for kids who want to become like musicians or rock stars or something. And I'm like, that's a great fucking idea.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look into, like, I'm not like a rock star or anything, but I'm on my way there. I just know. And then I would love to help someone out. Just say, hey bro, like, this is what you got to do, blah blah, because I love doing that with people. So I think that it's kind of, even though I'm already pretty happy, I think doing more stuff like that, it's gonna make me
it's service.
Just the best person I can be.
Yeah, that's service, and that's what we're given this experience for, is to help the next person.
Yeah, sharing it with others is the move.
Yeah. You can grab it.
Can I?
Yeah.
I put it over here.
Here it is. What's one of the best? So when I was doing inner child work, I got this prompt to write a letter. Tell me if you've done this. Write a letter from the perspective of my 5-year-old self. And I was like, this is complete malarkey. You know, like, this is dumb. I don't want to do this. This isn't going to work. I feel stupid and I don't want to do this, you know? And I sat down, I submitted to it. I was like, whatever, I'll try it just to disprove it, just to prove that it doesn't work. And I tried it, and I'm literally, the pen took on a life of its own. Like, my hand just started scribbling across this page, this letter from the perspective of my 5-year-old self. And I was like, holy shit, what is happening? Am I possessed right now? And I'm like, just writing this whole letter, and I'm bawling, crying. I'm like, this whole spiritual experience is happening. And I get done and I'm like, did I just tap into something? Like, did I just tap into, like, there really is an inner child that lives within us that, like, needs a voice, that needs protection, that needs love, that needs, you know, sheltering and needs to be given space to express, especially if you went through really severe trauma, especially if your childhood was stolen from you, especially if your childhood was stunted by having to be an adult too fast. You know what I mean? So that was one of the craziest experiences that I had with inner child healing. I also went to a retreat that was for inner child, and we went to this it was like a mansion in Orlando, and like they had like a life-size bowling thing where you would get in like the ball, and like somebody would push you into the pins.
Oh, you roll into the...
Yeah. And then they had like one room was like a clue room, which was like an escape room, and then another room, the chairs were tops, like they would spin, like they were in actual chairs. They were like everything was set
like
up.
A therapy retreat?
It was a retreat, yeah, at this house. Everything was like a game. All the rooms were like different game themed, and
so you kind of like reliving your childhood.
Yeah. And we would do like these meditations and stuff like that. And it was one of the most powerful experiences of my life. But what is one of the most powerful experiences with the inner child healing that you've had?
Honestly, I just started doing that maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing therapy, not even that long, honestly, maybe like a month. But I will say I have been doing like self-help podcasts and books for years. Okay. And I've been in and out of therapy. I do like, you know who 𝐽𝐿∫? I'm sure you know who
Jay Shetty.
Yeah, 𝐽𝐿∫ is like my idol.
Yeah.
I listen to like almost every episode of his. Read half of both his books. My issue is that I have like, and I know everybody does. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I have ADHD so bad that every time, like when I was writing my page for inner child, I'm like, all right, done. But I did write some cool shit down or whatever, but I just can't fucking focus, you know? Just like when I'm reading, I'm like, all right, I have to read like 2 pages max, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Have you tried meditating and setting an intention first?
Yes. I when I'm being good.
Does that help?
I do meditate.
Well, like before you're about to do your inner child work, if you like meditate for a second, meditate and then set an intention, and then also say in your intention, I have the intention to have focus to get this work done to the highest and best that I can possibly do it, so that I can get the results of healing from this work. And then you set that intention before you do it. And I swear, like, when I have to wake up early and I think I'm going to oversleep, it happened today. I like set an intention to wake up in the morning. My alarm didn't go off this morning, and I woke up at 6:15 just because I set the intention to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's some weird woo-woo, you know, like spiritual stuff.
You're spot on. That is right.
So like, that's one of the things that really helped me was like taking a second, meditating, getting in the mode, and then setting the intention that I have focus and that whatever needs to come through can come through, and that it's a safe place, and that I'm not distracted by anything in my surroundings, and then just make sure that your environment is, you know, conducive to that. So your phone's off, and then, you know, your door's locked or whatever the case is. Maybe you have some headphones on with meditation music or something while you're doing it. That seemed to be really helpful for me as well.
No, I think you're right. Whenever I'm like doing good, like with like my routine and stuff, I think it's very. I mean, 𝐽𝐿∫ always talks about it. It's like it's highly important. The first thing you do wake up sets the tone for the entire day.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I have like on my ceiling, I have like my daily mantra of just like,
what is it?
I don't know if I can remember exactly, but it says one part of it says the next 6 months can change my life, and then another part of it says I am not a product of my. I'm a product of my decisions. Man, I'm blanking out.
And not my environment.
Yeah, basically, like, I control what happens to me. Like,
I create my reality.
I'm a product of what I do, not of, like, what happens to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it says something about, like, just, like, I am safe, I am happy, I am locked in. Like, things that I specifically want. Like, I want to be locked in, I am happy, whatever. And I just say it to myself in a good way. But, yeah, I haven't read it in a while, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But when I'm being good, I wake up, I read that, and then I brush my teeth, and then I read a little bit, and then I do my meditation. But lately, with, like, the whole content creating thing, I'm just like, wake up, content, and it's not good to wake up to do that, because it's like, yeah. But I gotta wake up a little early and take at least 30 minutes for myself.
Yeah.
But my life is hectic.
It's hard to, like, stay in the mode. It's easier when you're in pain, because when you're in pain, it's a necessity. You have to meditate. You have to pray. You have to get tapped in so that you can change your mind about things. When life is good, that's when it's hard to maintain those habits, because you're doing it for a result and you already have the result. So then all of it falls to the wayside.
Yeah. I need to do it specifically, one, to just kind of allow myself to be in the moment when cool things happen. Because that's my biggest thing, is that I don't allow myself to enjoy the moment. I'm just like thinking about the next thing on my phone, like, oh, okay, we're gonna go on a car ride, well, then let me get some work done, instead of like just enjoying the car ride, you know. Like, I'm just like, I have time, how much? 15 minutes, I'm gonna use it to do whatever else.
Yeah,
that's how I am all the time. So I like to do that, so then I can stay locked in throughout the day and feel more at peace, so I don't have to go on my phone, and then so I can appreciate the things that happen. Because when I don't, everything's just like this,
you just miss it all. Yeah.
And like, I am so, like, lucky to have the life that I live now, but I don't feel like I'm, like, actually, like, taking the time to enjoy it. I just know that I'm doing a bunch of cool things.
Yeah.
But it's always like, oh my God, like, you're going to this, now you're going to freaking here, now you're going to this country, and I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna do content, you know?
Yeah, I always say that, you know, it comes into, like, you start to become entitled to, like, this big, beautiful life, and then you lack the appreciation for it. So I always say, like, when you have everything, you know, and you want for nothing, that it steals the gratitude out of it. So it's just like a practice of gratitude is super important when you're in these spaces, you know, because when you're in it, you're like, yeah, of course, you know, but then when it's removed, you're like, dang, that was actually pretty cool. I wish I was more present for that. I wish I would have paid more attention.
That's why I love, like, recording, like, videos at concerts, or like putting them. That's why I'm always putting stuff on my story, because at least I get to go back and, like, that was so sick. But I remember being miserable.
Get to relive it. You were miserable.
I mean, I remember not really, like, at the moment. I'm just like, all right, when is the next band going on? But looking back at it, like, that was so sick. You know, and it's always like I find like this fonder memory of there, and I was like, why wasn't this stoked there? I should have been, like, going crazy, and then maybe I was a little bit, but I usually tend to do that. But I like recording things to remember that I was there.
Yeah.
Practice a little ecstasy, but
yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's somewhat normal, you know, but it's good that you have that practice and that you're putting it into practice, because the awareness is that's where it comes in, right? Is like just being aware of something that you want more, and then feeding that awareness. So next time you're in a situation, you have that presence and you're like, let me just soak this up for a second. Let me just be here. Let me be here now. Yeah.
And I will say, like, I am a very, like, happy and positive person for the most part. I just don't have that feeling of, like, I am blessed, you know, like people have that, you know, like, God is good all the time. Like, that's like, I'm just like, whatever. But, like, I am like super positive. I'm like a great friend. I'm like always there for my people. I just don't feel that sense of, like, oh my God, I am loved, you know. But
do you have a gratitude practice?
I have a gratitude journal. I haven't used it in a while, but I do write, like, you already know how it goes. The mantra, the three good things that happened today.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That might help with that, though. Like, that's why it's a practice. Like, if you can be in gratitude is a direct line to God, and God is joy. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at, like, just in general, you know, gratitude is what taps you into the human experience on the highest level. Just being grateful, like looking around the room and being like, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. You know, it really just brings things into perspective, because you can remember a time when you were strung out on meth, some girl was sitting in a chair, you know, diagonal from you, looking hideous, scrolling on your Instagram, you know, and you could be there, and you're not. You're here now. And that's what a blessing is, that to be here now instead of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. one big takeaway that you have from beating addiction, what would it be?
One big takeaway that I have from beating addiction. Off the top of my head, that, I mean, this goes out to anyone, but you're capable of doing anything at any time.
Yeah.
It just takes some balls and then just some confidence, and then just know that you can do anything.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it is.
Yeah. How are you living that in your life today?
What do you mean by that?
Like, how are you living that out in your life today, being everything that you can be? What does that look like for you in a day?
I'm doing everything I wanted to do when I was a teen. So when we're talking about inner child work, like if I can literally draw myself doing what I wanted to do, what I wanted to look like and everything, I'm like that exact thing. So it's kind of cool. I wish I can go back to be like, bro, you're gonna be so stoked. I remember, like, this is really stupid, but at first, like, when I was a little kid, I was like, all I want to do is like model like merch for like metal bands.
Yeah.
Have snake bites and a chest tattoo. And I'm like, all right, we're way past that. But I was like, all I wanted to do was literally just be in a band, be like a scene hardcore kid, male model, be covered in tattoos, snake bites, and just like, it's stupid. That's what I wanted.
It's not stupid.
Yeah,
it's what you wanted.
It's what I wanted, and I got that, and so much more. And it's like I literally got everything I wanted when I was little. So it's pretty cool. And then I just did it. I didn't know. No one ever gave it to me. I had to quit all the bad stuff and then do everything I could to do it, and it's just fucking possible. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. What does recovery look like for you today?
So the whole drug use thing, that ended like quite a few years ago. It ended completely at in 2015. I will say during the pandemic, I was doing like a bunch of like acid and mushrooms,
Yeah.
Say I was just bored at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I just continued on drinking for the past few years. And then, I don't know, 3 months ago, I wasn't even planning on getting sober from alcohol. But I noticed that my good friend, his name is 𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐿, he's like a content creator for like guitarist, metal stuff. I saw on his page that it said straight edge. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know he was sober. Those people are just so cool, you don't even know they're sober. I think I offered him alcohol once. He was like, oh, I'm okay. And I was like, oh, he just must not be drinking tonight. But anyways, I hit him up and I was like, hey dude, you're sober? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I started just asking him like why and stuff like that. And honestly, no one's put things into perspective better than him, even like a therapist or anything. He just correlated like drinking. To me specifically, he literally just told me very bluntly, like, I think maybe it's something that you should try. I don't know how much you drink, but you're one of those people that I see that has so much potential, and I would hate to see you waste it. He told me that, and then we started talking about like relationships and like how I just can't like lock in and stuff like that. And it was just like, let me tell you something, man. I think if you stop drinking, this whole like girl to girl, like making it so like momentary between them, I think the alcohol is just allowing yourself to just like continue that cycle. And the moment you stop drinking and then you're able to just give your all to one person, I think that's really going to help you out. But I feel like the alcohol was allowing you to do that. And he's put these things in this way that I was like, fuck. And I wasn't thinking about getting sober or anything. And I was like, hey man, like, I just want to let you know that I think I'm going to get sober. Like, I feel like if I don't act on it now, that at this, I was shocked so like hard by this, I'm never going to do it. And it was very inconvenient at the moment because I had like 5 festivals to go to. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew it. I was like, if I do this now, with all these festivals, my birthday and New Year's and Christmas and everything, and Thanksgiving, if I'm able to do those sober, I'm good. Because and I don't have to wait till January when it's easy.
Right.
So people fail because they start when it's easy, and when it gets hard, it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll just drink. I did it when it was hard.
Yeah.
So then it got easy, and then I just fucking did it. And I was like, I just took that. I just took the way that I felt, and I just held on to that, and I was like, I'm gonna use that as fuel, and I just did that.
I love that.
So that's where I'm at with sobriety. And just, I do microdose mushrooms when I go to festivals, just because I get super fucking overwhelmed. I didn't know I had anxiety.
Yeah.
And so I got sober. Because before it was just like, oh, I'm just awkward in public. No, it's anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's just like, even when I play a show before, I'm like, I'm not even nervous. I'm just fucking anxious.
Yeah.
So you take a beer or two and they're like, oh, you're just chilling. Which is not bad. Anyone can do it. It's cool. But if you, it doesn't work for everybody, but if you like microdose like a small portion when you're like out and about, it takes that feeling away. You can still go to sleep later. You can still just be perfectly normal. It just kind of just chills you out.
That's worked for you. Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than Adderall or any other thing that I tried, just because I've tried it all.
Yeah, and I believe that there's different walks for, there's different forms of recovery, and there's different forms of, there's just different forms of recovery, and there's a lot of people who do things a lot of different ways, and I think that having representation for those different types and forms of recovery helps people that are walking those paths to relate to those stories as well. So they're really important to tell. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because not every recovery story is a cookie cutter. I went to AA, I went to rehab, I went to AA, and it's like the person who maybe dabbled and but still drinks normally, may hear your story and be like, maybe alcohol is not for me because I just am not a better human while I'm doing it. So your story is just as valid and valuable as anybody who's in recovery from addiction.
Yeah, I do want to say that, obviously, sobriety is not like a one sure fits all. It's for every people. Some people can just smoke a little weed. Some people can just be full on sober. Some people can just have the occasional wine cup or whatever. For me, that's what works, and I feel like anyone should do something. And if it doesn't work out for them, keep testing yourself and keep trying things, because you could find something that works. And you just have to try a little harder and just not give up. I almost quit 2 months ago. I had this really traumatic experience when I went to go fly out to visit someone. This girl completely fucked me over, and then I was just stuck in another city, just traumatized from the situation. And I was like, fuck, I don't think I was never gonna break, because I'm pretty strong-minded, but I was like, I don't think this no drinking is not for me, because I just can't handle life like that all the time. But then one good thing I did is I just sat there with my emotions for a few days, and then I just went on. I re-downloaded BetterHelp, and I got on therapy. And then the following event, that's when I started microdosing, and I was, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I almost went back to drinking, but now I figured out that I can just do this. So I highly recommend to anybody that's struggling to just sit with your feelings, let them fucking hurt, because when you deal with those feelings with the clear head, it's gonna hurt so much more, but you're actually gonna grow from it. You're not gonna grow from shit when you just taking substances to forget about the pain. Yeah. So just gonna stay there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%. Well, it's been an honor to have you on today. Thank you so much for showing up. We truly enjoyed your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And that's it for another episode of the StraitJacket Podcast. Or if you or anybody that you love is struggling with mental health or substance abuse issues, go ahead and go to mentalhealthresource.com and fill out the form, and somebody will be with you to get you some help. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.